But again, I am here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and there is a shot via Skype out the window of that. I'm going to turn things over to Gerald Celente of the TrendsJournal.com. He's going to be covering Syria, White House Correspondents' Dinner, Bush Library, Italian government. He's also going to get into the Boston bombing, China, and positive measures to return prosperity to America. So we turn the InfoWars worldwide broadcast over to the top trends forecaster, Gerald Celente. Gerald, again, my friend, I want to thank you for joining us. And the helm, the comm is now yours, Captain.
Well, thank you so much. It's a real honor for me to be here today, Alex. And what I like to do during this segment is really what we do every day on Trends in the News. It's part of the subscription to the Trends Journal and their nightly broadcasts. Of course, they're not as long as the one I'm going to do now, but they average anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. So let's start off with today's Trends in the News. And the first one of the ones you just mentioned, is that White House Correspondents' Dinner. You know, I was just listening to William Jasper of New American Magazine and you, Alex, saying that, yes, we can change this. It can be changed. We don't have to go down this course. And if you don't believe me, look at the White House Correspondents' Dinner and how lame it is, and you think you're in a high school assembly. Just listen to some of this stuff.
I recognize that this job can take a toll on you. I understand second term, need a burst of new energy, try some new things, and then my team and I talked about it. We were willing to try anything, so we borrowed one of Michelle's tricks.
Listen to the prostitutes. That's enough. That's enough. Then you hear Conan O'Brien. You listen to the prostitutes clap on cue. It's disgusting. And what's more disgusting is how anybody could look up to this stuff. And you look at all the media that came out. Oh, Obama hit him with a 1-2 punch. Oh, Conan was fabulous. The guys are reading like this from their notes. And all the prostitutes laugh. They should be, it's a disgraceful spectacle of human beings acting at the lowest level. So you take this information, and this is what you're fighting. This is what you're up against. You're up against nothing. You've heard me say this before. I'll say it again. All these politicians are the same people you couldn't stand in high school and college that wanted to be class president and head of the student council. The suck-ups, the brown noses, the glad-handers, the overly ambitious and the insincere. And who are the prostitutes? The same clowns that were the journalists that ran the school newspapers. It's like they're talking to the principal of the school or the president of the college when they interview the president. So when I listen to Mr. Jasper, when I listen to Alex Jones, the future is ours, unless you think they're better than you are. So to me, it's very hopeful. You look at these clown acts, amateur hour for what it is. Let's move on. Gold. Whoop. Chip. Gold prices are up a little bit today. And they're up about 12% since when they bottomed out a few weeks ago. And I've said this before for those of you who haven't heard it before. My first buy of gold was in 1978 at $187.50 an ounce. I also bought gold on January 20th, 1980, at the high during the day at $875. It closed at $850. I remember what it felt like back then when the market was diving. Very different sentiment now. Back then, there was no Russia. Back then, there was no China. Russia was the Soviet Union. Everything east of Berlin was locked behind the Iron Curtain. The only thing people knew back then about China was Mao. India? They knew nothing about India. It's a global world now. You're seeing the people rushing in to buy gold as the prices are dropping because everyone knows that you cannot keep juicing the economy by printing more money. So look at the news today. Oh, on May 2nd, they're going to meet over there in the European Central Bank, and they're going to be lowering interest rates. That's the word coming out from the experts. And then you look what's going on. Why is the market even going up a little bit today? Read the information. They'll tell you why. There's Bloomberg. There's just a positive tone to the market, in part because recent lackluster economic trends have reinforced investors' belief that the Federal Reserve will continue to press on the gas pedal. And that's from Chad Morganlander. And his firm, they oversee $130 billion. Gas on the pedal? You know what kind of language that is? I can't say this on this show, but the first letter is B and the second letter is S in saying the two words, because that's what that is. Gas to the pedal? No, it's pumping more worthless money into the economy and devaluing the currency. And it's going on globally, and that's why I believe in gold. Let's look at some of the headlines. This is from the New York Times, the self-proclaimed paper of record, of which I like to call it the toilet paper of record, considering the wonderful job they've done to take us to war for fake reasons and to keep propping up the lies and keeping the propaganda going. This is a great one. Karzai's office gets bags full of cash from the CIA. A decade of paying for Afghan influence. Can you imagine that? Don't have a job. The one you have stinks. Can't pay your mortgage. Don't have any rent money. Can't make ends meet. Don't worry about it. It's all outlined here. We call it ghost money, said Khalil Roman, who served as Mr. Karzai's chief of staff from 2002 to 2005. It came in secret and left in secret. All told, tens of millions of dollars. And it goes on and on and on. How this scam, the CIA's money, it's your money. Hey, cities are rotting. Alex is talking about how run down Little Rock looks. Don't worry about it. We got to send the money over there to the criminal group so that they could wash it and keep the wars going. You read the quotes in this paper, it is astounding the things they say. Yeah, CIA's money goes to paying off warlords. Nothing like a warlord. Oh, they're wonderful. You need a good warlord in your community. And politicians, many of whom have ties to the drug trade, and in some cases the Taliban. Yeah, wonderful. Go back to the correspondence dinner. Look who's running this country. Look who's making these decisions. If you or I to do anything like this so stupid in our jobs, we would be fired. But it's okay when the government does it. The headlines here are astounding. The cash does not appear to be subject to oversight and restrictions. No, hey, it's their money. The CIA's money. Where did they get it? They got it from you. This is where your tax dollars are going. No more foreign intervention. Everything they do, it's a loser. And you can't see a bigger loser than right over here on the front page of the toilet paper of record. So that's where it's all going. That's where it's heading. And it doesn't look very good. Yeah, these quotes are brilliant. Huh. Much of it also goes to keeping old warlords in line. Check this line out. This is from an old warlord, Mr. Dostrom. I asked for a year up front in cash so I could build my dream house. He was quoted as saying in a 2009 interview in Time magazine. That's right. He gets his $100,000 up front piles it up so he can build a home of his choice. So this is what we do on Trends in the News, because as we're talking about foreign affairs, here's another wonderful little story. Republicans warn of inaction on Syria. Oh, yeah, that guy again, that little chicken hawk, you know, Lindsey Graham. Yeah, calling for more war in Syria. Messed up in Afghanistan, Iraq's a bust, Libya down the tubes. Let's go into Syria.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. Plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high-performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente, hosting on the Alex Jones Show. An honor to be here. As I was talking about Syria when we went into the break, don't worry about it. The New York Times just reported, hey, them Islamists are taking over there in Syria. That's okay. They're everywhere. And you know who built the Islamist group, don't you? That was Jimmy Carter. Yeah. You remember the proxy war that the United States started giving money to people like Osama bin Laden and all the rest of them to fight the Russians when they were going into Afghanistan to stop the Russians? Yeah, those Islamists. So now they want more money, they want more intervention, people like Lindsey Graham calling for more action in Syria because it appears they're all suffering from attention deficit disorder. Clashes carry worries of a new civil war in Iraq. That's right, a new civil war in Iraq. That's the word coming out. But hey, why believe me? Look at the papers. Oh, 11 dead in another car bomb in Iraq. Wonderful. Yeah, but listen to what happened over when President Bush announced the opening of his new library. You know, President Obama said that he's drawing a red line that Syria can't cross. I wonder if he got the crayon from Bush to draw that red line. What a wheeze. I love the language that they use. We're taking this off the table. That's the other lovely one they use. We're taking it off the table and we're drawing a red line. Islamist rebels create dilemma on Syria policy. Nowhere in rebel-controlled Syria is there a secular fighting force to speak of. And this is from the toilet paper of record. So, going back to how they keep screwing up and getting more opportunities to do so, Karl Rove, you remember him? That was Bush's front man, back man, side man, and man behind the scenes. Yeah, the porky pig of politics, Karl Rove. Yeah, Karl Rove on Bush legacy. He got the big things right. I do believe that the Iraq War was the right thing to do, and the world is a safer place for having Saddam Hussein gone. Don't you all feel happy? Don't you feel safe? Having a nice day? Who cares about Saddam Hussein? What a big lie, and how come these guys aren't brought up on war criminal charges to see who knew what when regarding WMDs of weapons of mass destruction? So Bush was interviewed by all of the prostitutes on all of the channels from the mainstream media, and they all sucked up. And all Bush kept saying, and all the mouthpieces are saying, is let's let history decide. Oh, yeah, let history decide if Bush messed up or not. Why let history decide? Let's decide now with the facts. I'll tell you why they want history to decide. Here keeps going. Here he goes. The porky pig of politics, Karl Rove. The greats, you know. You can't touch George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, the greats. But yeah, I put George Bush up there, says Rove, who refers to a recent ABC Washington Post poll that found 40% approve of Bush as evidence that he will continue to be remembered more keenly as time goes by. He'll be remembered more keenly as time goes by because everybody will forget what a screw-up he was. He didn't even show up on Inauguration Day. That's right. That's how much the people hated him. They booed him. They booed him. No, it was Cheney that didn't show up. They booed Bush when he showed up with Obama. That they never booed a president, a leaving president before. Mussolini could have got elected after having 8 years of Bush. And guess what? We got him. Fascism. The merger of state and corporate powers. And we're going to look at more of that when we come back with Trends in the News. And we're going to see why China is going to outbeat the United States as we keep going down. But there are other ways to go up, and we'll talk about those too.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
This is Gerald Celente back on live on Alex Jones Show doing some of our Trends in the News. And when I left off, I was talking about what's going on in Syria, what's going on in Iraq, and how this military-industrial complex is destroying the nation. And I said I would also give some positive elements of how we could turn this around, move forward, and rise to higher levels economically, quality of life and quality of spirit, because it really comes back to morality. Here, from the toilet paper today, armed men surround ministry in Tripoli. At least 20 pickup trucks loaded with anti-aircraft guns block the roads while men armed with AK-47s and sniper rifles directed traffic away from the buildings around the ministry. Hey, I heard Obama say that they were going to bring freedom and democracy to Libya. I heard that little weasel chicken hawk Cameron and Sarkozy from France. You remember him? Yeah, the guy that's now, the former president of France. You know, the guy that now is going to be running a hedge fund if everything goes right, saying how they were going to free those people of Libya from their oil. You think we'd be in Iraq? You think we'd be in any of these countries? Oh, Libya, by the way, has some of the best sweet crude oil on the planet. The whole system is breaking down. Everything they touch, they turn to garbage. They destroy it. When the governments, we have no business intervening in anyone else's country. Period, paragraph. I am an American. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in the Declaration of Independence, and I believe in the principles upon which this country was founded. And when you see little cartoon characters like the Clintons and the Bushes and the Obamas doing their cheap routines and put them in a category with Madisons and Jeffersons and Washingtons, who warned us not to become engaged in foreign entanglements. Who are these little weasels like Lindsey Graham and McCain, insane McCain? And by the way, he's not a war hero. No. He crashed his plane a couple of times, couldn't land on the aircraft carrier, and if his old man wasn't an admiral, he would have been booted out. And what's he a hero for? Oh, he was flying over, bombing innocent Vietnamese, and they shot down his plane. That does not make you a hero. And these are the people that keep yelling for more war, more war. Bring home the troops, bring home the money, rebuild America. This is garbage what these guys are talking, and you know you're not going to get the truth, because all you have to do, if you want to torture yourself, as I did the other night, watch the president's White House Correspondents' Dinner, and you'll see the low level of human beings that call themselves journalists. I love that guy on CNN, Don Lemon. Perfect name for the cat. A lemon if there ever was one. But I digress a little bit. Let's move on to some more news. On the economic front, companies feel pinch on sales in Europe. This is from the front page of today's Wall Street Journal. Yeah, U.S. companies ranging from IBM, United Technologies, 3M, Xerox have missed revenue forecasts, hurt by a combination of Europe's malaise. You see, if I had the BS button now, that word malaise, it's not malaise. It's a depression. It's a depression in Greece. It's a depression in Spain. You're looking at unemployment rates that are approaching 30% officially. You're looking at over 52% unemployment, 57% unemployment rates in Spain among the youth. Same thing in Greece. 38% in Italy. Oh, Italy. They just elected a new government. Yeah. Here, look at this stupid photo. Look at this moronic photo. They're everywhere. Everywhere. We have moron leaders leading us everywhere. Because these are the kind of people that want to get the jobs. And you read about this clown that got in. Another guy that never worked a day in his life. What's his name over here? Enrico Letta. Yeah, Enrico Letta. Let his uncle, Gianni, was Berlusconi's chief political aide. Yeah. And you look at the new cabinet, the members from Three-Card Monte, the technocrat they put in there. One after another. Forget these labels that you hear on TV. Center left, center right. They're all a part of the financial mafia. That's all it is. There are two mafias running the show. The money changers mafia and the military-industrial complex mafia. It's a dictatorship of finance. It's the merger of state and corporate powers. One after another, you go down the list, and every one of these Italian cats that are in high positions are Eurocentric, Euro-favored guys and women that want to take more power away from the people and centralize it under the money changes. Euro is a failure. Italy, Spain, Greece, Portugal, Ireland, they're suffering the worst downturn since the Great Depression. The euro is a failure. It's only 12 years old. It's finito. They should bury it, but they're going to prop it up because it's easy when you have a centralized currency, a centralized bank to steal your money. It makes it a lot easier to do a lot of smaller deals. And a guy yesterday went berserk in Italy. Mayhem greets Italy's, quote, grand coalition of mobsters. Here, this is the guy. Luigi Preti, 46th, unemployed, and apparently driven to desperation, opened fire with a pistol, wounding 2 police officers. This is from the Financial Times. Unemployed, apparently driven to desperation. When people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And that's what we're seeing more and more of. Let's move on to some other news here. What do we got here in the Wall Street Journal? More about those Boston bombers. This is a big story. Talk about the 19-year-old is being treated for gunshot wounds in his throat, head, and legs that he received during confrontations with police days after the April 15th bombing. I'd be hitting the BS button on that one. You know why? You remember the story. The story was in the Washington Post. The story was all over the media. That's right. There was a confrontation. You heard the word. There was a confrontation. They found them in the boat. Remember? The guy goes outside, he's having a smoke, sees the top on his boat's not put on right, sees some bloodstains. There's the kid lying there wounded. And what did the cops do? You remember the first story. They exchanged gunfire. Yeah, that's right. They had, what, 9,000 troops there? They could have, they could have led the Battle of the Bulge. They had enough equipment and men and armaments. So no, the gun battle never happened. It was a lie. Just like the other lie, or misinformation, excuse me. Misinformation about how they also robbed the 7-Eleven that they never robbed. So why would anybody believe anything? But here's the way they wrote it. Again, this is from the Wall Street Journal, received during confrontations with police. Now, they shot into the boat. The kid was lying there. Couldn't they say, come out, your hands up? Whatever happened to that one? What else do we have? Iceland. Iceland votes out pro-European leadership. Yay, yay, yay. Little Iceland. Tiny little Iceland. They didn't pay back the bankers. They're having a tough time over there. But they're not robbing the people of their money to give it to the banking operations. A little bit closer to home because, again, I was listening to the opening of the show with Mr. Jasper and how things have to change. And, of course, when Alex Jones' show, he always talks about, stopping the corruption and bringing the nation back to the people. Here's a little story in Sunday's New York Times. Many openings at state agency goes to those with ties to Governor Cuomo. I'm only mentioning this because it's the same thing everywhere. If you read about the guy they just arrested in Bosnia, The guy in France that was supposed to be cracking down on tax evaders, you know, that minister. And then they found out he had a couple of $1 million in a Swiss account. It's the same thing everywhere. And nothing is going to change, nothing, until the morality changes. And the fish rots from the head up. So we learn by our leaders. We learn by those in power. And the power is corrupt from the top down. Here, New York State's Economic Development Agency. Economic development agencies, by the way, I got my master's degree in public administration. They're a waste of money. All they do is they give benefits to the very rich. Hey, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a hotel in your dying town over here. I want a $10 million tax break. I want loan guarantees and some infrastructure repairs, and they do it, which they should never do. But anyway, in New York State Economic Development Agency created a new position last June, a new position. We're paying taxes like crazy, and they're creating a new position. And they found a candidate to fill it, a young man named Willard Younger. Yeah, young Willard Younger, who had just graduated from Colgate University with a degree. Now, check it out. If you want a degree in worthlessness, this guy couldn't do better. But I have one better, actually, and you'll hear that one, too. A degree in classics and religion. Now, you know what a degree in classics and religion gets you? It gets you a job with the Economic Development Agency, a special projects assistant, at a salary of $45,000 a year. Now, wouldn't you think if they put an ad out for a projects associate at a salary of $45,000 a year, they could have actually gotten somebody qualified with experience? Or could it be, I mean, being, there are several million people in New York. His father, Stephen P. Younger, is a lawyer and power broker in legal circles who was a member of one of Governor Andrew M. Cuomo's transitions team, and he's also donated $26,000. Yeah, to Mr. Cuomo's campaign over the years. Oh, nice. Oh, donated campaign. You know what these are called in real language? No, they're not campaign donations. They're called bribes and payoffs. And you saw the payoff. That's why I'm a believer in direct democracy. The whole system is rigged, and if you're not in it, you don't get anything from it. This story actually gets a lot better, It's one stupid thing after another. And the jobs that these guys get. There's this other guy, Mr. Molis. He was hired at $75,000 a year as a strategic planner associate. He graduated with a degree in ASSYRIOLOGY, Assyriology, the study of ancient Mesopotamia. Yeah. His ties, his father and his father's real estate firm have donated a total of $75,000 to the Cuomo campaign. So I guess they broke even on that one, huh? 75 into the campaign, 75 a year into his son's pocket. The whole game is rigged all over the world. So the stock market's going up a little bit today. How come? Well, as I said earlier, good news, good news. The Fed's going to keep its foot on the pedal. That's right. Pumping more money. That's boosting the market. Now, this is important. Interest rates, as we know, are at historic lows. So the other reason that the market's going up is pending home sales increased 1.5%. after a revised 1% decline the prior month. It was 0.4% when it came out with this number. Now remember, 1.5%. This is after dumping trillions of dollars into the economy. This is after keeping interest rates at record lows. And this is after the FHA are giving out loans with people only putting down 5%. So you can see, even with all of this juice going in, it's not going to be a happy ending. And again, that's why I believe in gold. Gold is golden because they're going to keep having to pump more money into it. It ain't working, not going to work. But don't worry, they'll get us to war and that'll get your mind off it.
Authoritarian control freaks throughout history have sought to make populations dependent. The United Nations openly has talked about using food as a weapon against the third world and the industrialized first world. State Department Memorandum 200, developed by Henry Kissinger, called for destroying the food capacity, not just of the United States, but every country in the world, so they could use food scarcity as a political weapon of control. Just a decade ago, less than 10 million Americans were on food stamps. 4 years ago, it was 25 million. It's now reached almost 50 million. Socialist health care is designed to destroy our health care system. The establishment wants you to be a bunch of cowardly, dumbed-down people who can't stand up for yourselves. That's why they're rushing to try to restrict citizens owning firearms. Because since the early 1990s, gun ownership has gone straight up, while violent crime has gone straight down by 49%. And globalist-controlled strongholds like Chicago and New York, where they've taken the citizens' guns, have the highest crime rates in the world. What am I getting at here? The system doesn't want you to be self-sufficient. That's why I promote the fact that you should go out, buy firearms, and go take lessons and learn how to use them. I want you to stand up for your birthright of liberty and freedom. During a serious meltdown, they're going to tell you, hey, you want food? Turn in your guns. And that's why we need to put the globalists in check. And then finally bring them to checkmate by being self-sufficient, by being prepared, by having a garden, by learning how to can your own foods, by having friends and family and community that will stand together. But at the heart of that is having quality, storable foods. And that's why I went out more than a decade ago and found the very best food company to be my sponsor, eFoods Direct. They're the company that I personally use for my emergency food storage preparation, whether it be for natural disasters or the tyranny that is intensifying. So give them a call, 800-409-5633. That's 800-409-5633. Or efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find the weekly and monthly specials. But they're always running the specials where you can get the free 6 meals and the eFoods Direct audio CD put together by the experts in storable foods to answer all your questions, the eFoods planning guide, the eFoods brochure, the eFoods catalog, plus 6 free meals, creamy potato soup, tortilla soup, and cheesy chicken rice, so you can sample the high-quality storable foods from eFoods Direct. They've got a bunch of other specials.
The 2-week food supply provides one adult with 81 servings of healthy, delicious, storable food for 14 days.
The 1-month food supply provides 192 servings for 28 days.
And then there's the 1-month family food pack. It will change the way you look at the food in your pantry. Every time you eat one of these meals, you are eating healthy, delicious food and saving a lot of money.
The 3-month food supply, 576 servings of storable food for 91 days.
And the 1-year food supply will provide you with 2,304 servings of healthy, delicious, storable food for 1 full year.
Your meals are as delicious and nutritious tonight as they'll be in 25 years.
Bottom line, there's a bunch of specials at efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can also call them at the toll-free number on your screen, and they can send you a catalog with all the specials detailed and tell you about the weekly and monthly specials that they're always running. efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find all the specials or call the toll-free number. And so in closing, when you buy from efoodsdirect.com, you are supporting the radio broadcast, the nightly news, the magazine, the films, and everything we're doing. Because we're not like MSNBC or Media Matters that get government and corporate funding to bring down America and bring in tyranny. We are funded by our sponsors and you, the viewers and listeners that support them. Again, that's efoodsdirect.com/Alex or 800-409-5633. And when you're also visiting Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, you can click on the banners to take you to the weekly and monthly specials. It's like the Hank Williams Jr. song, "A Country Boy Can Survive," because you can't starve us out and you can't make us run because these boys were raised on shotguns. Well, there aren't really a lot of good old boys left anymore, are there? And those that are out there are demonized and are enemy number one by Homeland Security. And good old boys come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. They're people that aren't chumps, who understand that they're going to take care of their family and that nobody else is. They're people that understand that if somebody else is taking care of them, that makes them a slave. And that the government doesn't want you dependent because they want to build a great future for you. They want to get you dependent so they can social engineer us. So the answer is get self-sufficient, become men again, and tell the New World Order to go straight to hell. Alex Jones signing off for Infowars.com and eFoods Direct, our great sponsor.
Last segment. Thank you, Alex Jones. This is the Alex Jones Show, and this is Gerald Celente giving you an example of our Trends in the News that we do every Monday through Friday as part of your subscription to the Trends Journal. Now, I said I was going to give some positive elements, say a little bit more about China. China's going to do better than the United States. I don't believe China's going to go to war. They're building their internal economy. They have 1.2 billion people there, and they have a lot of business to do with each other. And that's where they're going to go in the future. And that's the way America should go. That's the way Italy should go. You know my saying, think for yourself. That's the way I see it. I want my money staying in my country. I don't want it going anywhere. Anywhere in foreign aid, anywhere in foreign products. I want to buy shoes from America. I want to buy my shirts made in America. And I want to buy all my product local. And boy, do we have great local product up here in colonial Kingston in the heart of the Hudson Valley. I just had some Coca-Cola that they made over here locally that was as good as I've had in Italy. The way we bring this back is we do business with each other, just like the Chinese are going to do. And hey, if it's good enough for the Chinese, why shouldn't it be good enough for us? Or maybe you want to buy that next shirt from another sweatshop that blows up, burns down, or is destroyed in Bangladesh that just killed 400 people. So you could go shopping at a large self-storage unit that they call Walmart or Target. Buy local. And number one, again, think for yourself, only what I'm saying, break the chains. If you're going to go out for a cup of coffee, break the chains. Go local. Break the chains. We have become corporate slaves. Unless, of course, you go to Colgate and your old man gives Cuomo money or whatever other state you live in. Then you'll get a good job with your degree in worthlessness. So those are some positive elements. The future doesn't have to be the way it's going. We create the future. Again, go back to the beginning of this program. Look at that correspondence dinner. Look at these low-life politicians. Look how low they have taken this nation. So I want to thank Alex Jones. I love being on this show. Keep up the good fight. Everyone join in. And now I want to turn it over to Jakari Jackson. This is Gerald Celente, and that was some of today's Trends in the News.
All right, Jakari Jackson back here live. Is Gerald still with us? I just want to ask Mr. Celente, if I can ask you, you ended talking about China. How do you feel about the Chinese market telling us how to make our movies, demanding edits to movies like World War Z and Iron Man 3?
Hey, Chinese own our money. You know, they're buying up all the movie theaters. They're buying up a whole chain of movie theaters. You know that. They own a big chain. So, you know, they're in control. The golden rule. Those who have the gold rule.
Exactly. Now, Mr. Celente, how can people get a hold of your materials?
TrendsJournal.com, TrendsJournal.com. And Jakari, we know that people are having a difficult time, you know, making ends meet. We have a discount request page there. We try to make the Trends Journal available to everybody so that they can prepare for the future. There's a bright future for those who see the future and move in the right directions.
All right, Gerald Celente, definitely appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Jakari.
All right, well, that's it for this edition of the Alex Jones Radio Show. Thanks to Mr. Celente, Alex, David Knight, and everybody else who had a hand in this, the great crew working overtime. Alex will be back, or at least Skyping in, I should say, tomorrow. Also, myself, maybe David Knight will be back in here as well. So InfoWars Nightly News tonight. David Knight will be hosting. Sybil Seabell Edmonds, will be our guest. We'll see you then.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.